All right, if you're still relying on interviews to hire for your business, you're gambling with your business. You don't need better questions, you need a better system. We're not here to gamble. When I'm out there working with large companies that are hiring for sales teams, they're not there to gamble either. They know that millions, tens of millions, or potentially hundreds of millions of dollars is on the line, and you have to set up the correct system to make sure that you get the right person every time quickly. Most of us don't even think about how much money we lose simply hiring the wrong person, trying to train them for a little bit of time. It doesn't work. Oh, now how do I get rid of them? It's an entire mess. So at A Player Hire, what we do is put this system into your business. I'm going to show you kind of what this looks like in real time. When I was in military special operations, I had to find a better way. I didn't want to bet on somebody's potential, what I thought they could do. I learned later on that I needed to bet on their patterns. Now, what's the best way to figure out their patterns without wasting millions and millions of dollars? You know, in the military, it was them going through training and trying to see if they could pass. How do I do this right away? How do I understand from the get-go if this person has the right patterns that I want to insert into my business and fits like lock and key with the rest of my team, like a Tetris? All right, so I've removed the names here, but this is a regional sales team of a cybersecurity company, an outside sales team. Okay, so if you've seen some of our previous videos, you kind of understand this graph. Upper left-hand quadrant, you have visionary type people that think very strategically, people that think at this sort of 50,000 foot kind of view. And then down here at the bottom, you have more of your craftsman types. They think with a micro lens, they do things with a micro lens, think things that are very repetitive, your accountants, your lawyers, things like that. Now, take a look at this. This is essentially where all 6 of these people landed. On the top left here was the leader of the team, called this philosopher. Very strategic person, definitely can do outside sales, but not always the best candidate for actual leadership. And that's one of the issues that they run into. But when I look at this, basically they don't have accountabilities on their team. So they don't have outside salespeople and then account executives and then inside salespeople. All of these people had the exact same role. But look at how different their patterns are. Now, instantly when I looked at this, I said, okay, I know who your top sales guy is. It makes complete sense. He said, well, how do you know? I said, it's obvious. This is the only true outside sales pattern that you have on this board. Okay, and that was an easy pick. The rest of these people should be in account management or inside sales. He could completely change around the performance of his team by letting the people who are good at outside sales go do that and then forget about account management because it's draining those people and pass it off to the right people who are sort of here in this middle section. But let's get into these people individually just for a moment, because I want to show you how we can identify gaps in performance without ever meeting these people. And this has been so ridiculously accurate. I was highly skeptical in the beginning, but everything has changed now. All right, so here is that the sales leader, okay, the philosopher sits up in this top left, the very visionary, very macro strategic person. So what's burning him out, right? He's a very, you understand this blue dot, this is your pace. Everything is relative to that red line, okay? So he's a very methodical person, likes to take things in step. Obviously, with how he perceives himself to have to be in the job, which is this bottom graph, he feels like he's got to move way too fast. He's got to juggle way too many things. He's got to be more detailed than he typically likes to be, probably because he's managing all of these different people. He wants to be out there, selling and everything, but he has to manage this team and he's got people above and below. So I already know exactly what's burning this guy out. And then I also know how we could modify his accountabilities to get this guy to perform better, because we want these graphs to look identical. That's the goal. Again, this is a survey taken. It takes 3-4 minutes to do. Very, very simple. Okay, so just from this, not only do I know how we can make him better, but I know who else, if we were building this team, what type of traits I would want them to have to complement this guy as well. Now let's go to the next one. Okay, so this one is this bottom right. this administrator. This is somebody who really should be in sort of inside sales, account management, customer success. Kind of depends on the business here. That's why I'm not giving an exact title. But look at the discrepancy between these two graphs. Okay, like I said previously, alignment is what we want. Imagine 4 wheels on a car. They have to all be in alignment. Otherwise, the car drives terribly. The tires wear in funny patterns. This guy is completely misaligned, which means this car is not efficient. I said to the sales leader after seeing this, he goes, you need to be careful, man. This guy's probably already looking for other jobs. This guy quit 2 weeks after we looked at this graph. So this is just an incredible predictor. Now, why? He's basically so disengaged from the job. It's the difference between these two red arrows, or here we're looking at this thing called energy units. Okay. You can kind of think like stress or the ability to, how long they can stay operating outside of their typical pattern. All right. So this person was put in an outside sales role. They don't like to operate that way. They obviously feel like things are moving slow. They feel like they're being micromanaged. This person does not fit in this role, or even if they did, right? It's not always the role. Sometimes it's the leadership. We got to talk about the leadership, but essentially what we did was we hired the wrong pattern for this job. This person simply does not want to be out on the road making sales. Very simple. We need them to be thinking bigger, more strategic. We need them to be networking constantly, all of these different things. Now let's go back to their highest performing person, this rainmaker, top right. Okay, we know it simply because it's an outside sales role, and this is a true outside sales pattern. Their social dot is way far out here, which means they get energy from being around people. The next question is, okay, well, how do I get this person to perform better? All right, so we already know that this is a very high performing pattern for them, which means we want to hire some more people like that. But also, how can we modify the current team to make sure that this person has the support they need? Well, it's obvious, okay? If we look at this top graph, this is their traits. This is who they are at their core, their human operating system. This green dot is detail. They are extremely low detail, more than like 90% of the population. Not that they can't handle details, they just don't think that way. They don't think with detail first. Detail bogs them down. Look at the graph on the bottom. The detail is all the way to the right of the red line instead of 3 standard deviations to the left, which means that they're getting bogged down by detail and it's stressing them out. I can see that because their energy units are higher than these energy units here. All right. So pretty simple to take a look at. How would I help this person perform better? Well, I would put somebody under them that is highly detail oriented so that they didn't have to worry about the details. I would basically offload that capacity to another person. Pretty easy, pretty simple. Okay. So the easy way to do this, you survey your entire team, you work backwards, you re-engineer success. Okay, what do we have? What's working well? What's not working well? Where are our gaps? How do I want this team to operate? Who's already on it? Right? There's a lot of simple things. We're not betting on potential. We bet on patterns. And we don't gamble. We insert systems. If you want myself and my team to insert a system into your business, whether you're the founder, whether you're a sales executive, you've got a link below. Reach out to me. We'll basically do an analysis of the team. We'll walk through this. We insert software into your system and then basically consult all along the way. It's a really, really cool process. If I had this when I was a leader in the military, I don't know how many millions I could have saved them. But I know one life I absolutely could have saved, which was on my team that ended up in suicide. So I know it sounds like, oh man, that's big and morbid, but it's a reality. I mean, I showed it to you with that other graph showing you that guy, I said, hey, you might want to watch out for this guy. He's probably looking for another job, and he quit 2 weeks later. Okay, so I hope this helps. I hope it shows you that this is basically the third leg to a hiring system, which is you can't trust interviews because it's just people being good at interviewing, right? It's not how they're going to operate in their job later on. This shows me how somebody is going to operate a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. It's not going to change. And that's the beauty of this system. So leave a comment down below about what else you'd like to learn, and we'll go from there. Otherwise, keep making some sales.